Good afternoon. I'm here with my guest, poet Alexis Ivy. So glad that you could make it here, Alexis.
Great to be here.
Alexis has read for me at the Newton Free Library, and she's also been in the Ibbotson Street Press. And she's an educator of high-risk populations in her hometown. You did at one point. I don't think you're doing that anymore, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And her most recent poems have appeared in the Main Street Rag, Off the Coast, Spare Change News, Tar River Poetry, the Santa Fe Literary Review, Eclipse, Yellow Medicine Review, Borderlands, Texas Poetry Review, J Journal, and upcoming in the Worcester Review. Has it been released yet?
No, about another year.
Another year, okay. Her first poetry collection, Romance with Small-Time Crooks, was published in 2013 by BlazeVOX, which is a fine small press. She's finding a home for her next collection, Taking the Homeless Census, which has been a runner-up for University of Wisconsin's Brittingham and Felix Pollack Prize. I feel I'm being racist or something when I say that. You know.
That's the name of it.
Yeah. So I got the sense from the poems you've sent, I know nothing about your background, but that you've lived a very hard Scrabble existence. Is that true?
Yeah, I've given myself a hard time, a little bit, I'd say. Definitely the poetry I write, you know, I feel like poetry is truth and beauty together, you know? Mm-hmm. And so I feel like, you know, it's not real memoir, autobiographical, but there is a definite truth to it, you know?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, do you want to say anything about what you went through, or is that...
I mean, well, today I'm living a much better life than I was. I definitely had a drug problem at one point, and I'm in recovery now. And I was on the road for a while, just like looking for trouble, looking for, you know, any sort of hard time. And I got it, and I learned.
You went out on the road saying, "I want to get in trouble. I want to."
Kinda. I mean, I'd say I was interested in trouble, getting into trouble, and just kind of, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Sometimes trouble finds people, but you went out to find trouble.
Yeah, it was definitely.
Well, what was the philosophy behind that? Was there a philosophy? I just wanted to.
I thought it was an interesting life. Okay. I don't know. I was attracted to it. I definitely think.
To crime and things of that nature. Good. I mean, I don't know. That's good.
Everywhere, so.
Yeah. Now, you worked as a copywriter for your family business. Is that true?
Yes.
And you know, with copywriting, you know, you have to get to the essence of a thing, and each word counts. And I know my father, late father, was not a copywriter, but he was in advertising. So they used to hire a lot of poets, mm-hmm. and you know, I know Ginsberg worked in advertising and things of that nature. Was there any creativity, and is it in a way like writing poetry, writing copyright, writing a copy for ads?
So, I wrote descriptions of wallpaper for Lowe's and Home Depot. So definitely, like, describing wallpaper was very like flowery. I'd say in my like regular poetry work, I've never used adjectives that much, but it's all about the adjectives when you're writing descriptions of wallpaper, you know? Mm-hmm. So it was interesting, and I actually ended up getting a really good poem out of working there. I actually brought it with me tonight, so I will definitely share it later.
Right.
But yeah, it gave me some good language and just like a whole new genre of language that I just didn't know. But yeah, I'd say it was enjoyable, but it was not, I definitely am not really interested in the office job, so I left there.
Okay. Left the security.
Yes.
Okay. There you go. You're always looking for challenges, right?
Exactly.
That's good. In fact, with the death of David Bowie, he was always talking about change, mm-hmm. and you know, you're not afraid of change. Yeah,
I think it's a good way to live, always changing. It makes things more interesting, more inspiration.
Right. Now, you're a student of Barbara Heath got hired. In fact, you're the operations manager, and she's very well known and very prestigious workshop. A lot of poets have gone through there. Tell me about your experience working with Barbara.
Well, going to the workshop, I mean, I learned how to write in that workshop. I went there, I think the first time I went there, was my senior year of high school. And, you know, I had written before, but I, like, totally wasn't a poet. I didn't, you know, I had read the Beat Generation poets, and that's about it, you know what I mean? Just like Gary Snyder and Ginsberg and things like that. So definitely I had a lot to learn about poetry, and I feel like going there, it's been over a decade since I've been going to the workshop. I, like, learned how to write. I learned, you know, what a sestina is and, like, how to write one and things like that. And just, like, also learn how to give criticism, and just met some really wonderful people. Barbara's such a good teacher, and totally, like, yeah, it's something I'm going to probably always go to as long as I live in this town, you know? But, yeah, it was a real it's a real learning experience going there.
Okay. And what do you do? The operations manager?
Yeah. So I just help make the business go smoothly. She's like, pretty much on her own, and so I just kind of help her with her putting her business expenses in the right places and things like that. And we actually this summer had a trip to the museum that I helped create, like a poetry event with her, and it went really well. We all went to the MFA and wrote
poems. You got poems out of that?
Yeah, the Ekphrasis poem, which I'd never written before, and it was really cool. We went to, like, Dutch 15th century exhibit, and it was pretty wild what we all wrote.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Great. Now, you talk about, in an interview I read with you, I think it was in BlazeVOX, you said that the poetry saved your life, or writing saved your life. Could you expand on that?
Yeah. I feel like, you know, poetry, and definitely, well, writing in general, it's like when everything's just inside you, you know what I mean? And, like, to, like, be able to, like, put it out and onto the page, and to be able to articulate it, and to be able to not just have it be all in your head anymore, just, like, I feel like is really important. And, you know, writing is so therapeutic to me, and just, you know, it makes me let go of things, let go of experiences, and turn them into something beautiful, maybe something that was ugly. And
the ugly beauty.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I feel like without that, I mean, I just don't know, you know, like I said, I was getting into a lot of trouble, you know? I feel like without that, who knows? You know, I feel like to be able to write Romance with Small-Time Crooks, I had to get over everything in that book in order to finish those poems, every poem, you know? I had to get over the experience and, like, not have it be in me anymore, you know? And
you know, it's true, because, you know, when you read about Robert Lowell, for instance, and when he was in his manic phase, he wasn't really writing. It was after he was in this whole flourish, so, you know.
Exactly.
Not to say you were manic, or maybe you were, I don't know.
No, I don't think I was manic. I was just troubled. But yeah, I really do feel like it really, in order for me to, like, move on from something, I needed to be done. Once I was done with the poem, once I published the book, it was like I was able to get over it, you know what I mean? And it was just, that was a freedom, and that freedom is, like, so important. I feel like poetry gave me that freedom. So yeah.
Okay. Now, you know, you say that you have, you know, you write a lot about bad times and depressing times, and you're looking for that open pasture, quote unquote. Is that pasture open now?
I feel like getting there. I feel like it's all about getting there, and it's way better. You know, like, I feel like what I'm writing about and how I'm living is way better. But yeah, I feel like the goal is happiness, and it's all about getting to the happiness. I don't know if it's about having the actual enlightenment, or, you know what I mean?
Now, when you went on the road, right, and you have a great poem about being on a Greyhound bus and stuff like that. When you were on the road, did you ever have in your idea, I'm going to be writing about these experiences?
Yeah, I mean, definitely in the back of my mind, I was just like, this is crazy. Like, I need to write this. And I definitely, like you were saying about Lowell, I wasn't writing when I was on the road at all. Like now I go on a trip, I'm writing the whole time. You know what I mean? But at that
mental notes at least.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I feel like.
How long were you on the road?
I think 2 years altogether,
where'd
off
you
and
go?
on. Pretty much just all around the country a couple of times, like, and got stuck in places a couple of times, and yeah, pretty much. I've been to almost every state.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah.
How'd you finance yourself?
Different ways. Like for instance, in Arizona, they have this gem and mineral show every year in January. So it was nice to be warm in January. And it was pretty easy to like get a job. So I would like sell crystals for someone for like 2 months and make some money there and like literally live in the desert with a bunch of other people doing the same thing I was. And there was some hitchhiking and like getting around, and then I knew a lot of people in the country. So I'd stay with them and things like that. I mean, definitely. Yeah, I would have some money sometimes, not have some money other times. And at one point I was traveling with a bunch of musicians, so we were making money with them playing music in different places, and that got us to other places.
How old were you when you were doing this?
I was, I think, 18, 19, 20,
Wow.
somewhere around there.
So that was your college, right?
Yeah, that was my life experience at college.
Wow.
But yeah, no, it was definitely like really intense, just, you know, not knowing what was happening next. And it was definitely like I put myself in a lot of dangerous situations, and at the time I didn't realize how dangerous they were until I wrote the book. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, now you have a perspective, right?
Exactly. It totally gave me perspective.
I mean, you're a lot older than you were then.
Yeah.
Now, so about the Greyhound bus, I always find trains and buses and things like that are sort of great places to write. You know, you are able to, you know, if you're with someone who's interesting, but you can really reveal yourself because you know you're not going to see the guy again or gal again. And you know, people come and go, and so you're looking outside at the passing landscape. Do you find those as great places to write?
Yeah, I took the Amtrak to Chicago.
They had a residency there.
I applied
for that.
You did too?
Yeah, nice. I didn't get it.
Yeah, didn't get it either, but I mean, next time. Yeah. No, I went to Chicago. That was the first like long train ride I took, and after the Greyhound, it was definitely a step up from the Greyhound.
Yeah. Well, the Fung Wah, if you remember those, they were pretty bad.
Yeah, but that's only a few hours. Well, most of the time. But yeah, no, I love traveling, like especially by train and by bus and by car. I feel like, and I didn't take planes for a while because I felt like it was all about the experience, about getting there, and there wasn't enough time on a plane to actually, you know, have the, you know, you're just in the sky, you don't see anything out the window except clouds. So I like definitely, if I had the time, I would still always take a bus or a train to where I'm going. But like I said, I applied for the Amtrak residency, didn't make it, but I find, like, the Amtrak was, like, such an amazing experience. It's, like, only the people that are on that train will ever see that, you know what I mean? Like, and I found that really powerful. I didn't end up writing a poem about that. Maybe I should. But, yeah, I had a lot of time on the Greyhound bus, so I was like, okay, I'll write everything I see out the window. And hopefully make it into something, and I did.
Wonderful. Well, we got a lot. We got actually 15 minutes now. By the way, are you appearing anywhere or reading?
I wish.
I know you were in the U35 series.
Yeah. I'm trying
with
to
some
think.
mass poetry.
I don't have anything coming up.
Do you have a website we can share with our audience?
Yeah, you can like me on Facebook under Alexis Ivy, poet. You can find me. So definitely look me up. And I don't have a legit web page yet, but hopefully during the second book it'll happen.
Okay. And your book can be purchased at BlazeVOX?
Yeah, and it's on Amazon too.
It's on Amazon.com. Okay. Well, you're going to read from your book, Small-Time Crooks?
Yeah. And I brought that wallpaper poem and a couple of...
Okay. So let it rip.
Awesome. Here, I guess I'll read some of the things we were talking about.
All right.
Let's see. I'll start with the first chapter, which is more childhood kind of things. I have my reasons. I hate boys. Hate how if I give one a flower, he'll take it and pick a flower for another girl when he could have held mine longer. I used to eat cereal I didn't like, boxes of it, and watch soap operas, one after the other. I also want to talk about the worst thing anyone's ever said about me. Worse than anything my brother said, because it wasn't said by my brother. Emma Rawls didn't say it to my face. Someone told me. She said it and I went look in the window to see how I was looking. She said that I looked like I was hit in the face with a baseball. I thought she meant I had black eyes that wouldn't go away, a fat lip. Thought she meant I slouched myself, face down to the ground like my body was a pile instead of a person. Isn't everybody fruit on the way to rotten? I started showering twice a day. I liked the smell of soap and sleeping with the storm windows open and my hair damp. I wear armpit hair instead of makeup. I have my reasons.
Go ahead.
All right, I'm going to read that Greyhound poem we were just talking about. And I think you published it in the Somerville Times a while back.
I don't remember.
You don't remember? Yeah.
I published so many people, I can't.
I know you have like multiple things going on, which is great.
I know, yeah.
Big supporter of the community, which is awesome.
Thank you very much.
We need more of you. Greyhound East. Two blind guys get on talking to the driver, grinning at the daybreak, feeling out the sun. By Dallas, the man in the aisle jingles a canister of pills. 3 for $5 to sleep. I sleep through miles of homemade road signs, strawberries next exit. At Burger King, I watch a townie eating chicken. The ketchup met the mustard on the dance floor of his plate. I smoke a smoke, pirate hot sauce packets. A dreadlock in Little Rock gives me the window and a southern slow drawl that works on me for a while. Share my whiskey flask with its 100 mouths stained on the rim. I get off to stretch on Bourbon Street. A woman hands me Creole food. A drive-by van throws fresh socks stuffed with a new bar of hotel soap and a Jesus pamphlet. Let the penny decide. Heads, I take 2 mangoes. Tails, a blanket for the bus. I sleep through Alabama. The flower peddler in the row over tells me I'm an orchid. Tells me I'm the greatest secret. I tote myself like a sleeveless guitar. The sun rises higher than I've ever been. The driver points out the window to the Atlantic in case we are still thirsty. Everyone going somewhere. I follow myself to keep up. Let me see. What should I read?
Whatever you want.
I know. I'm thinking.
Yes.
I'll read... Not that. I don't think I can read some swears.
You're able to read swears.
I'll pass. Okay, I'll read this one. This is about recovery. That's towards the end of my book when I try to help myself. The difference. Our faces are sober. No one digging anymore, but clean if there is such a thing. And nervousness. 100 people all night listening to ourselves, dishing our humiliation out. And how many cigarettes? 1 is too many, 1,000 never enough. I've made a fearless inventory of screwing up so hard, so heavy, so much, so sick and tired of not sure what I'm doing, but do it anyway. Become more of things and less of things, accept the things I cannot overdo, the reasonable ways I can talk myself into, the unreasonable ones. Change the things I can, boss my roost, be venerable, be an accidental hero rather than create my tragedies just to overcome them. And the wisdom to know I have been a newcomer all my life. Pale used to be my color. I'm fed up with that before, so now I'm ever since. And I'll read one more because it takes place actually in Somerville at the old Sacco's Bullhaven.
Oh. All right, so that's up my alley.
Yeah, it used to be a cool place. Bowling with the regulars. The better offs in jail, the double-crossers, the almost but not quite Steinbeck characters, the ones with the scars, half an ear bit off out of love, ripped skin on the knee due to reckless rolling from lane to gutter. I'm one spare and playing by the book. 5 frames of I like your hat, 5 frames of I like it too, forgot my name again, and flirting with the concept that the jukebox is my one true friend. I'm a vending machine, all king size and no Mr. Goodbars, and soon I'll run out of laughs. So long, heyday riffraff, so long unsure and dangerous, so long ransom, risk, and risk's guarantee, so long asking little, so long less.
Are you much of a nature poet at all?
It's funny. I actually think I got one nature poem and it was accepted for publication, and I was like, wow, I should write more of those. But mainly not. I like writing in nature.
Right.
But I don't really.
You're an urban poet, though. I mean, from what I'm getting, yeah.
Yeah, I've had a hard time making what I write in nature into poetry. It's just more writing. I'm like, did I bring any nature poem with me? Well, I guess. Oh yeah. As I was saying, here's my nature poem.
Wallpaper, right?
Yeah, there's that. So here's the most nature poem I have.
The most, all right.
It's a Villanelle too, by the way, so you might hear
Please
some.
explain the form.
Okay, so a Villanelle, Dylan Thomas is famous for it. There's repeat lines, there's rhyme, and there's iambic pentameter. So you'll hear the flow.
Metered poetry.
Yeah. It's hard.
It's hard.
It's doable.
Well, but what did Frost say? Free verse is like playing tennis without a net, but he was into metered poetry.
Oh, I like that. I've never heard that
Yeah,
quote.
yeah.
Nice.
He didn't like free verse.
I play tennis, so that's even better. Autumn. Autumn is the season of slow reside. Shredding ivy green turned brown. Leaves absolve the earth before they die. Well kept, blown, layering the sky. Stepped on, so settled in sky sound. Autumn is the season of slow reside. Sun shows late for the fallen, shines stubborn, a street lamp in that polis of clouds. Leaves absolve the earth before they die. Stripped and torn as they pine, for frost, first snow, blood on the ground. Autumn is the season of slow reside. Leaf smoke catches in the eye, the kind of worldly pain all birches bear. How leaves absolve the earth. Before they die, the sky will weather and rain less light. December will also die. How round autumn is, the season of slow reside. Leaves absolve the earth before they die.
Nice.
That's nature-y.
That's nature, yeah. Of course, it's not like, flowers and daisies and all that stuff.
All right, since we keep talking about flowers and daisies, I'm going to read...
Not that I hate flower and daisies poems.
I made flowers and daisies look good in this poem. Yeah. So this is the family wallpaper business.
I thought you said your father was a social worker.
He was. Once upon a time.
Wallpaper. Oh, okay.
Once upon a time. Oh. Changed his dream. So there's an epigraph by T.S. Eliot. Prepare a face to meet the faces that you meet. I'm the boss's daughter, the poor rich girl who isn't looking for a career here, but to earn some money. I own less than 1% of some huge thing and have to pay taxes in so many states that I have a tax guy. Or I mean, since I'm tied to my family so much, their tax guy. It's my job to write wallpaper for people to see what they're looking at, make florals flowery. I make sure green isn't green, but freshwater green, green plantain green, highway sign green. I always thought it poetic how our company manufactures too many greens and yet not enough of what I meant at all. I have to make unremarkable sound remarkable. The color Arizona sounds prettier than the color sand. The pine cone toss is country chic. The deeply embossed faux watercolor tonal ironwork trellis in royal purple adds a refined artistic approach to kitchen decor. The thesaurus is my best friend. I have found 31 different ways to say manly. Gallant, bold, darling, dignified, noble, rugged, withstanding, insidious intent. Paisleys are manly. I love association, love even more dissociation. I work where my uncle, my cousin, my father, and brother work. They crunch numbers, manipulate the data. My father's in sales, makes deals and shakes on them. My uncle heads it all, his agenda, his tedious arguments, his priorities. It's he who oversees the whole shebang. The Wisteria Trail repeats and repeats, grandfather to father, then son, and this pattern doesn't ever really make the man. As for me, I go on writing stripes the size of narrow streets. My brother is a texture, beige and malingering, flock. My cousin believes my uncle is worth well over a whole shipment of fine grass cloth, but he's too tight to weave. My uncle treats my father like a defective offset roll of harlequin that will never add depth to any wall. I know and name carpet stains, abstract sunsets in the corridor. The office layout could be named maze or messy labyrinth and categorized in geometrics on the spreadsheet. Flowers are the acrobats of wallpaper. They do everything. Bunch, trellis, arrange, they toss, print, trail. They don't do what true flowers do. They don't change. These flowers are aesthetically eternal. The phones in customer service have been ringing since 4:15. The water cooler chatter all becomes some melody I'd name wavelengths. I'm taking inventory while the warehouse worker is picking and packing. We are at bin location 23, pattern number 148-37524. The oval frame print, the cameo rose like the gem in a ring. Over and over a lone rose, 6 inches apart from the next lone rose. He asks my schedule, asks when I get off work as he stacks the unpasted, peelable rolls of ironwork scroll. Oh, my soul, we could make a nice night on my side of town. His side must be children and a wife. I tell him silk is cheap, it's the suedes he should respect. He helps me put the samples away. He's as beautiful as Twal. He's looking for a no big deal. I'm starving for a fairy tale, pinned and wriggling on the wall.
You ever read this to your family? I imagine you have.
Oh, yeah.
And what's their reaction?
Unhappy, but they know me. You know what I mean? They still love me.
Absolutely. Anyway, thank you for being on Poet to Poet, writer.
It was really nice to be here.